Hello, this is AUI 2000 with my second episode of AUI's 2 cents. This episode will sort of be about negatives, positives, and breaking into the pro scene. Um, but first, I've noticed on a lot of comments and people have been messaging me that I talk really fast, so I'm gonna try to slow it down a little bit, but there's no guarantees just because for some reason I like talking fast. I think I get bored when I don't talk fast, or like I forget my ideas because like I have a really bad memory with short-term stuff. But yeah, I want to do some notes for this and put them on the thing, but right now I'm just so lazy and it's too much work for me. But yeah, anyways, so this video, initially when I set out to do this video, it was gonna be just about breaking into the pro scene, but I really think that I need to sort of preface everything I say with sort of more about I guess what the protein is and sort of the negatives and positives. And I'm actually going to start by talking about the negatives first because I want people to avoid having sort of a rose eye lens view of the protein. And then of course, like, I don't want to, I think when I do the negatives though, I'm going to get way too negative. So keep that in mind just because I'm a very negative focused person. After that, I'll try to talk about some of the positives and then I'll actually go into talking about the protein. So if you sit around and wait for me to talk about stuff, then you get to hear something, which is basically probably just gonna be saying I got lucky. But anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So I'm gonna start by saying that whenever anyone approaches me about going into a protein, my response is I tell them don't. Uh, that's just what I do. Like I watched a comedian, I think it was Louis C.K. He was talking about how he does the same thing when aspiring comedians go up to him and ask how can they become a professional comedian. He always tells them don't do it because if a no from him off puts them that much that they don't want to do it anymore, then they probably didn't have the drive or commitment to actually become a comedian, and he saved them a lot of time. I think my thoughts are pretty similar to his. I know, like, it sort of sucks because sometimes it feels like you're crushing dreams, but you need to sort of be realistic about it because I don't think, like, people sort of know it's really hard to go pro on something, but I don't think they quite realize the scale. And when I was doing my notes for this, I'm really scared of sounding like arrogant or like just like really cocky about stuff like this, I guess. But anyways, I think that 20 teams can make a living off Dota right now, and that's very, very like um generous. I think right now. So that's 100 players. So that means that you need to be in the 99.99th percentile of Dota players. So that's ridiculously hard because I know in high school if I got like in the 99th percentile of anything, I was really, really happy about that. And then we're talking about on a scale 100 times harder. And well, I said that number, and then I realized when I was doing my notes, I was actually just comparing it to the concurrent player base. So you need to be in the 99.99th percentile of people playing at one given time. If you compare that to like monthly uniques, you need to be in the 99.999th percentile, or like 1 in 100,000, which I don't know what the hell that is. That's really hard. So honestly, like if you're not prepared for like ridiculous amounts of hard work and dedication, then going into a pro scene definitely isn't right for you. And I actually talked to Charlie, the EG manager, and he thinks the numbers are worse than that, and he's way smarter and way more reputable with stuff like this than me. So yeah. Anyways, and you like when you want to go into something like the pro scene, you also have to talk about some like I don't know any of the like official words for it, but like I call it desirability. So like if a lot of people want to do your job, they'll do it for less, I guess. They'll work harder for less. And professional gaming sort of has people think that it's a really good job, and I mean I agree because it's like I'm talking about these negatives, but it's put me in a really good place in my life. But it's people will work super hard, so you have to work even harder than them if you want to go into professional gaming. And then now, once you're in those top 20 teams, I don't think it's sunshine and rainbows either. And the only reason I'm saying top 20 is because I'm hoping that TI will pay out to 20 teams, like the 16 teams attending and like the wildcard teams or whatever. I don't know what the format is yet, but that's basically the only thing that's keeping it at the top 20. Otherwise, the odds are worse than that, which is really scary. But anyways, right now the pro scene is relatively saturated. It's not overly like completely destruction if you don't. Oh my god, my notes close. If you don't work your ass off every single day, you're gonna instantly kicked out. But you will start to get edged out. I think as the scene improves, it's actually getting harder and harder to break into a pro scene. Like new generations are gonna come in. We're gonna have like a team of 5 flashes from StarCraft 1 that just come in and destroy us and kick me out of my job, and I'll just be casually homeless. But anyways, um, and you have to realize, like, as you push yourself harder and harder, you have to consistently do it, and then your hobby becomes your job. And I mean, people say that a lot, but I don't think people sort of understand sometimes what that means. Like, at one point in time, I really, really did not like streaming, even though I wanted to do it for like sponsored exposure. I liked, like, I legit like interacting with fans a lot of the time, most of the time, almost always. But anyways, like gaming was my stress relief mechanism, and when it became something that created stress for me, it took a really bad toll on my life, and it took me a long time in the pro scene to get over that. And that's one of the reasons I think I sort of stagnated in my improvement at several different times in my Dota career, I guess I would call it. But yeah, so you have to learn about a lot of new things. You need to learn about like teamwork, team dynamics, sponsors, team owners, all your former chill places, like maybe it's Reddit or Liquid Dota, Join Dota, like they're not chill places anymore. Like you just get flamed there if you make a mistake, and it sometimes it can get really disheartening. Um, like people are, you need to go really thick skin because you see, it's like I'm being way too negative here, but people are really mean online. Like there are a lot of people who are really nice. I think one of the best examples of that is that instantly when I started replay analysis and stuff, there are people who are like basically lining up to help me with it, which are really cool, and I need to contact them for their get help because I would like that to be better. But anyways, like you need to go thick skin, and it'll affect your play if you get affected by like that. It's like folks call it fiending or whatever, but it will damage how you play if you listen to stuff like that. And I mean, this is sort of tangential to what I want to talk about, but like as a pro player, I think you get sort of dehumanized in a way. Like people say things and they don't realize that it'll hurt the pro player, and they just say whatever they want. But anyways, so those are. I mean, I have more negatives, but like I think those are the biggest ones, and they're things that you need to think about before you like as you consider going into the pro scene. Uh, anyways, I'm gonna talk about some positives now, I guess. And again, I if you've made it to this point in the video without being like, "Wow, being a pro player sucks," then good on you. Because I'm going to say it right now, like being a pro player doesn't suck for me. Being a pro player is the best experience in my life. I think it's changed me a lot for the better. I've learned the most from it, more than like any sort of score or anything. It's my quality of life is way higher. I'm happier. Everything is, yeah. I just don't want people to drop everything and just try to go pro because I don't think the risk reward ratio is good. And like I'm gonna reiterate this, it's 1 in 100,000. That's how many people can potentially, if TI has a good price to make money off Dota in a year, I think, or live off it. And I'm not even sure if that's right. It's probably less than I can live off Dota. The scene is growing, which is nice. But anyways, yeah, I really want to reiterate that on a multi-layer level, I've never had such a good experience in my life as from pro gaming. I before pro gaming, I had never traveled anywhere. Like we went to ESWC in Paris, and that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. Just because I had never left North America, or not even like West Side North America. I'd only been to Canada and the States. I met really cool people that I think have shaped me a lot and sort of influenced the type of person I am becoming and want to be. Um, like I'll just give a shout. Like I think Charlie has influenced me a lot. I'll say that right now, and a lot of the other players I've learned a lot from them. And Like I think you learn a lot more from interactions like this than any school can teach you or something like that. And you also get to meet like really weird people like Boba, which also shapes how you don't want to be. I'm just kidding. Boba's really cool. I don't know why I take so many shots at him. It's just way too easy. But anyways, I will say that like the majority of people that I have the most respect for in my life, I've met them through pro gaming, and um, I've I never expected to make this much money in a year either. So that's another positive for pro gaming for me either. I mean, our salaries aren't public. I will say that they're livable. I think that's fair to say. Like I can live in Vancouver off my salary alone, and our winnings are pretty public. We're good at getting second places, so that's decent. It's also for me. It's um, I always sort of question people who went into, or I didn't understand. I'm not questioned. I made a question. Like people who went into academics and just pushed the boundaries of their field, like pure maths, right? Like to me, it was just, it's not particularly like economically sensible to go into something like pure maths or pure physics where you're just pushing research, but it's it's rewarding to push the boundaries of something that you love. Um, I'm really lucky to be in the position I'm in. I don't know if we actually push the boundaries, but it feels like we're giving the opportunity to, which is really cool. And um, I have to reread my notes. Sorry. Honestly, I wish I had more positive to say about pro gaming because for me, like overall, it's been a super positive experience. But I mean, the biggest thing I can say is that I'm a person who dwells on negatives a lot, and if I had to do it all over again, like I wouldn't change my pro gaming experience. That I guess that speaks volumes about how much I love it. And yeah, so to reiterate, the negatives are like it's extremely hard. You have to like compete with an extremely tough crowd to go into pro gaming. You have to learn a lot of things. You have to deal with it. The biggest thing for me, honestly, is that your hobby becomes your work, and people don't quite fully understand to what extent that is and how it sort of damages how you de-stress and stuff like that. Uh, and then the positives are just I don't know. You learn a lot. I think I learned a lot. I met a lot of cool people. I think it's hopefully helped me as a person. But anyways, so now I'm gonna try to talk about breaking into the scene. I think that the scene in Dota is it's old enough. It's new. It's relatively new. Like if you compare it to any other sport, but it's old enough for it to be hard enough to break into. So for people who are watching this wanting to break in, that is not good news for you. Um, I think that too many people who message me about breaking into the pro scene. Sorry, I need a water break. Sort of expect it to be too easy. Like you're literally trying to break into the top 0.01% of players, so it won't be easy. And well, with that said, it should probably be easier to break in than it is now. I don't think there are many materials for players to break into the scene with. I hopefully I'm gonna change that with replay analysis if that gets good, but I can't really reveal stuff for my team, which sort of sucks. Not for me, but sort of sucks in general overall. Um, I think that the biggest thing is that okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience breaking into the pro scene. So I was a pub star, 100%. In Dota 1, in the beginning of Dota 2, I was a pub star. I didn't play in-house leagues. I didn't know Dota. I was bad at the game. I got picked up by like way too snaking and fog touchline. They taught me so much about the game. They were way better than me back then. They knew so much more. Their game knowledge, like mine was nothing compared to theirs. They taught me, I improved a bit, and then after TI3, I was lucky to get picked up, and I changed to support. Um, Pi, Envy, Bone, everyone just taught me so much, and then I was able to learn from people. So one of the biggest things about breaking in is that you need to find someone who's willing to teach you. How you do that? Honestly, I think a big thing is like I talked about this in my AUI's 2 cents number one on pub mentality. I think that you need to be nice in pubs and make friends in pubs. As hard as that sounds and as ridiculous as that sounds, you will find people who are much better than you in pubs. Even if they're not better than you mechanically, you'll definitely find people who know more about the game than you because Dota has people who have been playing for just so long. People sort of value themselves too highly based off pubs, I think. I think that having extremely high MMR means that you're very good at pubs. I also think it means you're very good at Dota. But and it means that if you have a good teacher, you can translate that high MMR into being really good at competitive Dota 2. But I think that if you don't have someone to teach you from the pro scene, unless you try very, very extremely eternally envy hard, it's gonna take you a long time to try to learn the competitive aspects of the game. If I I've been playing competitively for 3 years now, and I'm forced to learn or relearn something almost every game, at least like every LAN consistently. I don't think there's been a single LAN where I didn't learn something at least. And most games I'll learn something small. I definitely make a ton of mistakes, so there's always things to learn from. Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna talk about you can definitely break into a pro scene via extremely good mechanics, but I do want to say that as the scene fills up, every pro should have extremely good mechanics, even supports or whatever. Like everyone's gonna have good mechanics, so it's sort of hard to stand out mechanically. You can definitely do it, but it's difficult. I will say that there is a mechanical floor that you need to meet to become a pro player, I think, especially now. And I don't know about the extremely good mechanically thing actually, because one of the best ways to get noticed is to just be better mechanically, and that just comes from like hard work, dedication, playing a lot. But I think one of the aspects that people are ignoring too much is that I think breaking the pro scene, you need to meet that mechanical floor, and then you have to have a really, really good attitude. Because if you're really good at the game and like mechanically, and you have a good attitude, I think it's way easier to find a teacher or someone who's willing to work with you and improve with you. Easier to form a team. So if you have a godly attitude, like I know you'll draw people towards you that will want to play with you. So I'm gonna talk about I think the four biggest examples of breaking into the pro scene. So to me those are Bulldog, Excalibur, 4ASC, and Envy actually. So Bulldog and Excalibur, they proved themselves mechanically in pubs. They got their shot from a pro player. Bulldog was on Navi, Excalibur was on Fnatic. They took their shot, and then Bulldog picked up Alliance. Within a year, he won TI. Bulldog's story is actually ridiculous, by the way. That guy is pretty good. Um, so that's an example of just meeting that mechanical skill floor. You meet people, you have a good attitude towards them. They ask you to play some games, you know you're good. And for ASC, honestly, I'm not too sure about their storyline too much, but I know like they're basically like they're like a stack, right? Or mostly. And then like they brought in Trixie and stuff, and I think they're doing pretty well. Um, and so if you get good enough with a good attitude, you'll be able to play with people who can sort of pick you up and teach you. But I know it's sort of hard to do that sometimes. But honestly, like everyone with a good attitude I play with, I pretty much add, and I'll play with them more mostly. So yeah, just that helps a lot. Finding people in pubs. I know it's not the easiest. I know this solution sort of sounds crappy, but it is one that I have. Um, so you sort of need to have some sort of visibility or like learn from someone in order to get picked up in pro scene. For example, like imagine if someone like Tucker wanted to go pro. So I know Tucker from Sing Sing stream, of course, right? Wait 1 second. That's my Steam. I forgot to line up. The 10 minutes. So if you want to play competitively, I'd be more inclined to give him a chance because I at least would know who he is from a stream. That's how I feel. I don't know if that's true for everyone, but if he's playing with good players, he seems to like I can see he has a good attitude from the stream. Then I'd be more inclined to play with him. And so the last case is Envy for me, and I think this is like the ridiculous hard work path because I think people know sort of how hard Envy works, but when I wrote this, I put in perspective, it's pretty insane actually. So this is Envy's story. He quits school to play Dota. He works his ass off to form a top team, wins a big tournament, gets kicked from the team. He doesn't give up. He claws his way back into forming a new team by playing with pretty much anyone he can, learning from them, playing with them. Forms another really good team in Kaipi, gets snubbed for TI3. He's still motivated to try his best. During TI3, Kaipi was playing more than the TI qualified invited teams. Like that's ridiculous, and they were beating them too. Happy with them all, TI. So he's forced to roster change. Uh, you know, he still fights to practice hard, gets Marcoed, wins another land, and I can honestly say right now, C9 wouldn't be shit without Envy. Like he is the driving force in our team that he built up the team for sure. Whenever people talk about how hard they're trying to break into a pro scene, I always ask myself like, are they trying nearly as hard as Envy did? I know he's sort of a special case, like Eternal, Envy, pretty. I don't think I know many people as motivated as him, and definitely not in the gaming scene. I think, but I don't think the people who are trying to go pro put in nearly as much effort as him. Like not even close. So that's something. So, anyways, one of sorry, this is a bit too ranty because I prepared notes, but my notes are too disorganized. So it'll be better for next time. But anyways, so people, to reiterate, I don't think people try hard enough to break in. Actually, not when I compare them to someone like Envy. And I think that I'm going to talk a bit about the skill floor that I mentioned before. Do you need a mechanical skill floor? I think that you need to be like 6 or 6.5k at least. And I don't mean by spamming one hero. I mean getting there by like understanding, like maybe you can play one role, but probably just by having good game understanding, maybe randoming a bit, stuff like that. Maybe even higher than that because MOR is sort of inflating, and like the hard truth is that the pro scene is really hard to get into. Like whenever children say they want to go pro in something, it sort of seems like a very childish dream, I guess. It's hard to go pro in everything. It's yeah. And it's sort of a dream job, so you need to try disproportionately hard to get into it too. So yeah. And I sort of feel like an asshole because like there are people, like I'm saying you're not trying hard enough to go pro. I know there are people trying really hard, but honestly I just want to motivate them to go pro scene because I'd love to see fresh blood in the pro scene. And I do want to say that there's a gigantic element of luck in getting into the pro scene. And I think that's the same in anything for getting to the top. Like I know people, when I've mentioned this before, but in this video specifically, so I don't know I'm saying again, but whatever, YOLO. When people ask me how I got into pro scene, I'm like, I got lucky. I got picked up by some people, they carried my ass, they taught me everything I know, and then I randomly bounced out into the pro scene. So yeah. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna flame just a little bit here because I feel like there aren't any equivalents to Team Liquid. What Team Liquid was in StarCraft in Dota. I know there's like Liquid Dota, Red, NA Dota, stuff like that, but nothing was like Team Liquid in StarCraft, or nothing felt like to me, nothing felt like that. Like a community where you can grow up in, you read some strategy stuff, you learn from it, and okay, I'm gonna specifically flame NA Dota here because I think they had a good opportunity to do something like that. I think there are two communities that had the majority of pro players of a game in their community of a region, and those are Team Liquid and NA Dota. So Team Liquid became a central hub for StarCraft, and I think it helped a lot of people, even to get better at the game, to improve the scene, stuff like that. I don't know what NA Dota does, to be honest. And the sad thing is to me, like NA Dota still has some of the best people that could help the scene in it. I don't want to pick on anyone here, but like for example, Grant, that guy can be a good caster. I honestly think that guy can be a really top tier caster. He has decent game knowledge. I think a lot of people find him really funny, but like there's some sort of mentality about in NA Dota about like not trying too hard or not selling out or whatever, and it's really unfortunate because that site could have grown Dota a lot, and right now there's no good place for high level Dota to flourish. And yeah, I mean I'm just presenting problems and I have no solution, so that's sort of just shitty by me. Anyways, so one of the things I talked about too is that in order to break into pro scene, you need people to sort of know you a bit. It would help a lot. Or if whether they well played from you, they already have like a little bit of knowledge about your attitude and stuff. Like I would love to see people make more educational videos, something explain something, So are people learn from them. They're also good. They contact you, maybe form a team together, play some scrims, learn together, improve together, stuff like that. And like honestly, best case scenario, the public pushes your name around, pros notice you, or at least like-minded players notice you, like Slasher, right? Like I like some of his videos. Some of his ideas are really good. Some are bad. That's how it is with every idea. I have a lot of bad ideas. I have some good ideas, but yeah. So that's best case scenario, and then you get a team with people. Worst case scenario is, you make some cool videos, you get some ad revenue, no money. That's not that bad. No. Worst case scenario is that your videos are way better than mine because mine suck, and then I get no views, and I'll just be sad. But there are people who are on Reddit who you can form teams with. Like I don't know, I saw Dragon Fist posting there. I think that guy's legit. So someone who's like any other people who want to go pro, like they should have been messaging people like Dragon Fist or someone like that and trying to form a team together, trying to improve together, stuff like that. And that's pretty much all I got, by the way. Like when I set out to do this video, like I sort of made notes and I realized that I can't talk about that much about how to get into pro scene because I don't really know how, which is so depressing, so sad. Because I lucked in, and honestly, I'm not sure how you can get in, but hopefully, like it's a good frame to get in. Like you need a really good attitude. You need to work really hard. You need to improve your mechanics. You need to work on. I forgot to mention, like you need to work on all your small things. You need to have like all your laning down, your warding down, whatever. You have to good knowledge, stuff like that. You have to be a gigantic nerd because you are going professional in gaming. Like, let's be honest. And basically, all I know is that like if you want to go pro in something, you have to make the effort of your life. Like you're trying to fight for your dream job, and if you're not making the biggest effort in your life, then I don't think you can reasonably expect to succeed without an unnecessarily large dose of luck. But honestly, don't forget to have fun in Dota. If you're not gonna have fun, then it's not worth your time, honestly. So find people you love to play with, grow together, get better, have fun. Hopefully you luck out, you have a good attitude, and um, yeah, I would look forward to seeing you guys in the pro scene. Honestly, we need more players. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I'm gonna scroll through my notes really quickly because I am bad at doing this stuff. There are just notes on my phone, so I'm bad at reading them too. But I think that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully this inspires some people. At worst, hopefully it inspires some cool instructional videos because the Dota scene really needs more than my shitty ones. But yeah, check out my shitty videos on my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at @AYO_2000. I also stream on Twitch. I will put the info for all my stuff in my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I hope I wasn't too pretentious in this video, but yeah, thanks.